Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to HR Repair. Today we have a 2013 Audi A6. A6. I don't believe it's an RS6. I'm not 100% sure what all goes into that badge, but I think this thing has been rebadged with an RS6 logo. Looks good, I guess. I've had somebody that's a lot more intelligent about Audis tell me that, so we're going to go with it. What we've got is this Audi does not have an AC system that works, and it's starting to warm up here in central Illinois, and the customer would like to have the AC going. So stay tuned, we'll get this thing figured out. Contact! This thing has the 2.0 liter TFSI. I've done a little bit of work to this thing, not the AC compressor, but this AC system, if you were to run this thing, you'll see that the compressor does spin down there. It does not have a compressor clutch like normal systems do. This one here is always spinning and uses a modulating valve in the compressor to regulate the flow of Freon. Therefore, they don't feel like they need a compressor clutch. Now that system is okay until the compressor gives out. Then it just continues to run and run and run and send shavings through the system. So I've had that happen already. I don't really like it for that reason, but it is what it is. Let's see why this thing doesn't work. Now, usually what I've found on these, there's we can have, you know, something prohibiting this thing from working. Now, I've had where somebody replaced the AC compressor and did not do a system learn. Basically, the HVAC module needs to see, it sees that there's a new compressor in there by readings of some kind. I'm not sure what it takes to read that, but it somehow knows that you put a new compressor in there, and it don't like it, so it'll keep it from running. I don't believe this one's been worked on, so first thing we do is we'll come into HVAC system, and that should be right here. Well, we know that the key is on, and let's just get codes only. And we see that we have a coolant shutoff valve open circuit, supply voltage terminal 30 for the coolant circulation pump, electrical error. It's seeing an electrical error on the coolant pump, which helps to, I believe it does like an afterflow of antifreeze after you shut it off, and it also helps to push more antifreeze through the system. And the coolant shutoff valve, I believe that is a valve that shuts off coolant to your heater core during the summertime when the AC is running. I believe that's what it's for. But what we see here is we see function limitation due to a received malfunction value. So somewhere in the system, we have a malfunction value. So let's come in here and we will, let's just go into general. I believe it's in here. Let's see. Refrigerant pressure sender status. There's a fault there. So right away, we see that there's a fault with the pressure sender status. Let's go into, this one's just a little bit different. I want to see what kind of pressure it's saying that we have in the Freon, or in the system. Low pressure event is the reason it shut off. So let's see here. Refrigerant pressure. This is bar. I don't like bar, but that's 0.2. That's very low. I don't know for sure what that is, but that's very low. So we see, first thing we want to do is we want to come in here and hook up our AC machine and just check the pressures. Well, we've got more than a half a bar. We see that we have 80 psi in the system, which is what we would expect to see with being about 70 degrees in here. So we know we have Freon in the system. We know that less than a half a bar is less than 7 pounds of pressure. So that thing's saying we have like no pressure in the system. Okay, so first thing you want to do, or I recommend doing, is to come up here. We're going to back probe this sensor. This is going to be your pressure sensor. We're going to back probe. We want to get the power and ground to make sure power and ground is coming up to the sensor. Turn our meter to the on position and DC voltage. No voltage there yet, but I turned the key off. So let's, or ignition, not key, ignition. Oh, by the way, 156,038 miles on the odometer. All right, so as you can see, we have battery voltage up to the sensor. Now, we can check to make sure that the sensor is sending the correct signal back or not, but these are a failure point. So I'm going to just go ahead and get a new sensor. We'll put that in there and make sure that we have the correct PSI coming up on our scan tool. So let's turn that off and we'll get the new sensor on the way coming. Alrighty, I do have a new sensor here. Well, happened exactly like I was afraid it would. You know why mechanics are in such a bad mood oftentimes? I put a new sensor on there. Well, now we have 1 bar, and if it sits here and runs long enough, it jumps up to 28, jumps all over the place. So I knew I probably shouldn't have ordered the aftermarket one, but I thought he might want, see, 2.4 and 1. Yep, it's giving erratic readings, so I'm gonna have to order an OEM sensor. I knew better than to order a aftermarket sensor, but I wanted to get it going for the guy. And yeah. Ooh, look at that. Yep, jumps all over the place. I'm just not going to say anything. This is, except for, this is why I'm not opposed to to shutting off cheap Chinesium parts, because this crap right here, I know it's the sensor, because anyway, we'll get an OEM sensor and put it on there, but I should have never put that thing on there. I knew better, but it was the only one I could get right now, and so I ordered it, and it's just as bad as the old one. It's not going to work. So if you wonder why, well, I'm just gonna be quiet before I get my mouth in trouble. Let's just say it said made in China on it. Let's get a different sensor ordered. That one's going to take a little bit to get here, so then we'll get that put in. All right, we're back. I've got the old sensor off again. As you can see, it says VW AG. That's the old one. Junk. We've got the new one. This is an OEM manufacturer. ACM Germany. Made in Germany. So it should be good, because you know it's made in Germany. And it's supposed to be OEM. I'm struggling here. It is the OEM manufacturer, according to my research. So, this one's going to go in there. It says made in Germany right on there. Much better than what we had. The other one said made in China. We'll put this thing on now. We'll get our socket. Sorry. And gently thread this thing on there. Because it is kind of, you know, fragile. All right. Plug it in. Plug it in. Okay. And I've got so much confidence that this thing's going to work. We're going to do that. Even Hoss has confidence in it. All right. Hey. All right. Everything's away. Let's turn the ignition on. And let's see what we have for pressure. I'm not going to hook up my AC machine because I already know that it's got Freon in it. God, it's me again. I need this thing to work. All right, what do we got? 87 PSI. Steady as can be. Look at that. When we don't have Chinesium parts, they actually work. This is the kind of crap that makes me mad. You know, part of me is mad at China for sending sub-quality parts over here. Part of me is mad at our American manufacturers or stores for selling Chinese parts. But the other part of me is frustrated because I did something that I said I will not do, and that is put cheap aftermarket parts on Audi and Volkswagen cars. They don't like cheap aftermarket parts from the China land. It has bit me in the tail end. Well, not me necessarily. I had a Volkswagen a couple years ago that came in, had all kinds of codes on the dash for a ABS wheel speed sensor. And if you know anything about those, the Volkswagen Passat, it will set off the TPMS light, traction control light, ABS light. I mean, it looks like a Christmas tree. Ended up, somebody else had put a aftermarket from the US wheel speed sensor in there, made it worse than it was before. So we put in a Volkswagen part. It's been working fine. After that, I said, no aftermarket parts on Audi and Volkswagen or any German or English car for that matter. But I failed myself. So, enough jaw-jacking. This thing should work now. Let's go ahead and get in here. Turn off ignition before leaving the car. Well, I'm just getting in. All right, quit yelling at me. We're going to start the car. We're going to see, do we have any kind of AC engagement? We do. Look at that. The AC is pumping. Now, we will not see 250 PSI on this thing the way that cars with clutches have on them, because this one is if you remember correctly, this one is a modulated valve operating this AC. So we'll probably not see anything much over 150, if we even see 150 on a bright sunny day. It'll get up there, but it won't be like 250 like a lot of other cars do. So yeah, okay, I made a liar out of me. 153 pounds. All right, well, Back in, let's see what we have for trouble codes here. I'm sure we've got all kinds of trouble codes here. Yeah, we're just gonna have to erase them. Come on, erase. No, the engine's not off. I was hoping I didn't have to do that. Come on. Ignition on. Thank you. Now, yes. Trouble codes are not detected. And, yeah, we already know the AC works, so. Let me get my thermometer and we'll see what kind of temperature we get out of the AC. So, I'll be back. All right, we're headed down the highway, and we've got our AC cranked down low, as well as the radio. We're gonna see how cold this thing gets. I can already tell it's making cold. It's colder than the outside for sure. I don't know how hot it is outside. It's not real hot. But just looking at the thermometer, looks like we're down to about 50 degrees or less. Maybe, yeah, probably about 48 actually. So we're cooling the way we are intending to cool. This is good. What do we learn here? Well, we learned that we don't use cheap aftermarket parts. And luckily this one wasn't real hard to diagnose and wasn't real hard to change. Otherwise I would have probably, well, you know, probably been more frustrated than I was. Meanwhile, customer's understanding, he's been good. I didn't really lose a lot of time and money in it, but it was enough to be frustrating. And this is what makes us, most of us mechanics, very leery about using cheaper parts. And honestly, the part that the first part that I got was about the same price, actually was the same price as what I got that was an OEM manufacturer. So you really don't save that much money, and it's not guaranteed to work. So yeah, like I said, I'm frustrated with myself that I even tried it. Wasted time putting it in and trying it, and it frustrates me. So I don't know. Quality control went out the window about 5 years ago. It was bad before, but it got worse in the year of 2020. When they released the bioweapon on us, everything went to crap. So, that's all I got to say. Let me know what you thought about this repair down in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you guys anything. Helps me out a bunch. I'll quit griping. It's my job. We got it going. That's the main thing. Oh, and we're down to 48 degrees, 45 degrees. Shouldn't be looking at this and driving at the same time. Yeah, it's below 50, so we're good. He'll be happy. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one.